place for your amazing host.
Hey everyone, welcome to Sandals Church Kids. Here at Sandals Church, we are all about the vision of being real with ourselves, God, and others.
And we're so excited you're here to hang out with us for this series called Unearthed.
Unearthed is a series about the story of the Israelites leaving from a place called Egypt.
We are continuing through the book of Exodus and talking about who God is. During our time together today, we're going to watch some fun videos, worship together, hear a Bible story, and hear stories from real people, some that you might even know. You can print your Get Real guide from the download button below this video at sandalskids.tv so you can follow along with our Bible story and find activities to help you live out the vision of being real throughout the week.
Coming up.
Want to see us perform a #1 smash hit? Stick around for Unearthed.
Today, we're talking about Moses and the plead to be freed from our story in Exodus 5 and 6, which is all about how God led his people through some really hard things. We'll learn how God works through Moses to begin to free the Israelites from their slavery in Egypt. Avery, who is someone that often leads you through some hard things?
I would have to say for me that would be my dad. My dad usually has conversations with me when hard stuff goes on, and it's really comforting.
I love that. Well, you guys, we're going to jump into our story shortly, but first it's time for one of our favorite segments, pre-show.
What is up, everybody? Today is Father's Day weekend, which means that we are all about celebrating our dads, our grandpas, or whatever mentor you have in your life. And you know what? I love my dad, and I love being a dad of my 2 kids. Now, one of my favorite things about my dad is that he is down for anything. Like this one time we were shooting a music video and I convinced my dad to play some video games with me. I convinced him to drive with the top down and to let me put some whipped cream on his head. Thanks, Dad. And this other time, we were filming a video, and I don't know if you guys have seen Back to the Future, but I got him to dress up like Doc Brown, and it was hilarious because that was like the first time I'd seen him with hair in like 10 years. Now, I learned when my dad was a kid that he ate an Oreo one time that was this big. Now, this is not double stuff or triple stuff. It's like quadruple stuff. But the stuff on the inside wasn't frosting. It was actually shaving cream. Disgusting. And this one time, my dad, when he was a kid, now don't try this at home, he went into his parents' closet and he shook up a bottle of cider just to pop it up and see how far up it would go into the sky. He got in a lot of trouble. Like I said, don't do this. Now, obviously, I would have never learned these things about my dad if I didn't ask him some questions, but sometimes it's hard to know what to ask your dad or ask him about their childhood, which brings us to today's game, which is called This or That. Now, this game is fantastic, and it's a fantastic thing to do with your dad, your grandpa, or your mentor, and learn a little bit more about who they are. So how this game works is I'm gonna give you guys 2 options. Like, let's say I say, do you guys like bacon or eggs? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna raise your left hand if you like bacon, or you're gonna raise your right hand if you like eggs. That's how it works. I want you guys to get ready. This is our Father's Day edition of This or That. So we're gonna start simple, I think, and that one is, do you guys like Disneyland or Universal Studios? Think about it, raise your hand. I'm actually a Universal Studios kind of guy. I really like the movies there and the rides are really fun. Okay, hands down, do you guys like trees or flowers? Oh man, they both produce oxygen, so I don't know which one to choose, but I'm gonna choose trees because I like to climb them. All right, the next one is, do you like basketball or baseball? I like hockey. All right, the next one is, do you guys like Oreos or Girl Scout cookies? Oh man, I feel like I don't want the shaving cream Oreo, so I'm gonna go with Girl Scout cookies. Okay, hands down, hands down. The next one is, do you guys like to drink out of a cup or a mug? What's the difference? Is a mug just like, I don't know. I like to drink out of just my hands like this. That's how I do it. Okay, do you guys like dogs or cats? Okay, Now, I would be with you guys on this, but I'm actually allergic to both of them. I think more so to cats, so I'm gonna choose dogs. Dogs. Look, I'm allergic right now. Okay, all right. Do you guys prefer the color blue or red? I like the blue sky, and Rudolph has a red nose, but I'd say blue. How about you guys? All right, hands down, get ready. Do you guys choose to go to outer space or underwater? I think that I would want to drink a mug of water in outer space. That's my choice. Hands down. Now, do you guys prefer peanut butter or jelly? This is definitely a good one to ask your dad because we'll find out what he says. I choose peanut butter for sure. All right, when you're drawing, you guys like to use pens or pencils? All right, when I was your age, I liked to use pencils because I could erase the things that I would make mistakes with, but I actually like using pens now. All right, hands down, we're gonna move on to, do you prefer to sleep in a sleeping bag or a bunk bed? Ooh, that's tough because for me, I fell off a bunk bed one time and I smashed my face. So I'm gonna choose sleeping bag. Okay, do you guys prefer the beach or the mountains? So one is sunny and one is snowy. I think I'm gonna go with the mountains. All right, only a couple more, so get ready. This is, do you guys like gum or mints? I think that if I have to refresh my breath, I'm gonna choose mints. And the last one is, when you're at school, do you prefer recess or lunch? That's a tough one because if your stomach is hungry, I don't know if you're gonna wanna be swinging on the monkey bars or playing handball or whatever. So I'm still gonna choose recess. I don't know. I'll choose recess this time. I'm not hungry right now. So friends, that is a simple game of this or that, and I would encourage you guys this Father's Day weekend to play that with your family, whoever you want to play it with, and you can learn more about them and you guys can get to know each other. Maybe it'll lead to some laughs or some new stories that you've never heard before. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.
All right, friends, it's now time to sing some songs together and jump into worship.
This is a great opportunity for you to really think about God and how He's brought you through some tough times.
Now's the chance for you to get real with yourself and with God. Think about your week. Think about the conversations you had or maybe the unkind thoughts you might have had. Before you worship, take some time to ask God for forgiveness for these things.
When you're ready to worship, you can stand up and dance, close your eyes, or even lift up your hands. How you want to worship God is up to you. Now, let's worship together.
In this life there are many things, like big houses and diamond rings, but nothing compares to you. Like my phone and my video games, I like them both, but they're not the same, 'cause nothing compares to you. And nothing replaces you. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles.
No other God can split the sea. No other God gets capital G. Other gods are made of sticks and stones, but you're the only God that's on the throne. You're the only God who gave life to me, and the only one who died for me. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you.
Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. Yeah, there are no gods beside you. There are no gods beside you. There are no gods beside you. Nothing compares to you. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. So powerful. And you do great miracles. Are there any gods like you, God? No, no, no. There are no gods like you, God. No, no, no. You are wonderfully holy and amazingly powerful. And you do great miracles.
You have called me on a journey that'll last a whole life long. I can't do it on my own, but you are faithful to make me strong. Every valley set before me, every mountain that I climb, you go out before me. You go out before me, 'cause you are faithful. You're always faithful. Every promise that you make is a promise that you keep. You will never run away, and you never give up on me. You have called me on a journey that'll
All right, friends, now is the moment we've all been waiting for, our Bible story.
Welcome to our series called Unearthed, where we're digging up the truth about who God is. We're calling this series Unearthed because just like archaeologists discover mysterious clues that show us who ancient people were and how they were like, we can discover clues about who God is and what he's like through ancient stories in the Bible.
And the best part is, we don't even have to look very far because God chooses to reveal or show himself to us in many different ways. This week, keep your eyes open for a hidden robot Jeff in our video as we talk about how God leads us.
And how we can follow God even when it's hard. So let's dig in 3, 2, 1.
Imagine if you were on the playground at school one day and another kid came up to you and your friend with an idea. She says that the principal told her to ask your teacher if the kids could have more recess time so everyone would have longer to run around and play and be healthier.
You and your friends thought it sounded like a good plan, so off the girl went.
But when you got back to class, your teacher said that the class had been misbehaving and shouldn't get more recess. Then he said he was going to give you twice the amount of homework per day as normal. What? That wasn't fair at all.
How would you feel? You'd probably be pretty upset, right?
But what if after a few days of double homework, the principal came into your classroom and told the teacher he had to give you less homework and more recess time?
That would be a huge relief, and you'd probably be pretty excited. Now, did you know that something like this actually happened in the Bible? Let's check it out.
So we left off in our story with the Israelite people being slaves in Egypt and God telling Moses that he would be God's chosen leader to free the Israelites.
So we pick up with Moses and his brother Aaron going to talk to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. So Moses and Aaron said to Pharaoh, God told us that you have to let the Israelites go into the desert so that they can worship God.
Pharaoh scoffed and said, I don't answer to God. Those Israelites are lazy and just don't want to work for me. Then he refused to let them leave.
So instead, Pharaoh made an evil plan to make the Israelites work even harder.
Understandably, the Israelites were pretty upset that they were even more miserable than before. They complained to Moses and told him it was his fault that they were in this predicament.
So Moses asked God why he had let this happen. The Israelites were worse off now than they had been before. God reminded Moses who he was, the all-powerful God who did amazing things in the lives of his ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He reminded Moses of the promises he made to them and made him a new promise, that God would use his amazing power to free the Israelites from Egypt and give them their very own land.
Moses told the Israelite people this great news, but they didn't even listen or believe him. They continued to be angry and sad because of their slavery. And that's where the story ends for today. But don't worry, we'll see what God does next week.
Even though Moses and the Israelites were going through something incredibly hard and completely 100% unfair, God would lead them.
Even though Moses didn't think he was good enough to lead the Israelites and wasn't able to convince Pharaoh to let them leave, God would lead them.
Even though Pharaoh didn't listen and he made the Israelites work harder instead, God would lead them.
In fact, part of God's plan was that all of these hard things would happen. Moses had to learn to trust and obey God even when these hard things came. And so do we.
Sometimes it's difficult to understand why God lets certain things happen to us or to make sense of his plan. But we can always trust him because he has the best in mind for us. No one loves the Israelites and us more than God does. And no one is a better leader to follow than God.
That's why the one thing to remember is that God leads us.
Sometimes following God when He leads us is like this mirror. One day, everything is going right in our lives, and then BAM! Everything gets totally 100% broken. Maybe it's your parents getting a divorce, or finding out your grandma is really sick, or having to move away from your best friends, or being bullied at school by someone who says really mean things about you. Life can just be hard sometimes. And when things get messed up in our life, it seems impossible to put them back together again. But the amazing news is that we don't have to worry when things go wrong in our lives. If you are a follower of Jesus, it means that you have given complete control of what happens in your life to God. And God will lead us in the right direction no matter how hard life gets. Sometimes He even allows hard things to happen to us, so something even better and more beautiful than we can imagine can happen in the future. Just like our story about Moses and the Israelites. We know God will lead us, so all we have to do is decide to follow Him. And we don't just follow God when it's easy, we can follow God even when it's hard too.
Hi everyone, my name is Morgan and I want to share a story with you today about a time where I followed God even when it was hard. About a year ago, there was a day where I was headed out on some errands and I had so much to do, so I was a little bit overwhelmed. I needed to go to the store and pick up a couple of things on one particular errand. So when I got to the store, I was driving fast because I was overwhelmed and I pulled into the parking lot space. But when I pulled in way too fast and I scratched the car next to me. I was so bummed. I was really scared that I was going to get in so much trouble from that. There was nobody in the car that I scratched because they were already in the store, and nobody had seen me scratch the car, so at that moment I was really tempted to just pretend it didn't happen and go about my day. I was tempted to hide what I did, but I knew that's not what God wanted me to do. Even though I was scared about getting in trouble that day, I wrote a note to the owner of the car and I put it in their window. I told them exactly what happened and I gave them my contact information so that I could pay for the scratch to get fixed. I was shaking when I wrote the note because of how scared I was. But I knew that I had to follow God in that moment. It was so hard, but it was so worth it. After I chose to follow God and I wrote that note, I felt so much peace. I knew that I had followed God even though my instincts told me to hide. Because I followed Him that day, I didn't feel ashamed or guilty. Instead, I felt free and at peace. It's always better to follow God even when you're scared of what might happen or of how hard it is. So just like I followed God that day and I wrote the note and was honest with what I did, you guys can follow God even when it's hard too.
Let's take a quick look at our verse for the series in Exodus chapter 15, verse 11. It says, "Are there any gods like you, Lord? No, there are no gods like you. You are wonderfully holy. You are amazingly powerful. You do great miracles."
We hope you learned something new and remember the one thing for today is God leads me.
And what can you do about that? You can follow God even when it's hard.
Now these are great things to think about this week and even talk to your friends and family about. We even put them down on those Get Real guides we mentioned on the download button below this video so you can remember everything you learned today and discover more at home.
And parents, there's a Get Real guide for you too. This guide helps start conversation about the weekend's message as well as some fun next steps for you to do together as a family.
Before we end, we're going to go into one more song of worship. So go ahead and get up and let's sing together.
God, you are richer than a billionaire. You own the universe and everywhere. You own the great wide oceans. You own the tallest mountains. You made the fish in the sea. You made the birds in the trees. You own the cattle on 1,000 hills and still take care of me. My God is more than rich. My God is full of grace and mercy. My God owns everything, and He still cares for me. The creator of the universe, and He is right here with me. He is right here with me. He is right here with me. Yeah, He is right here with me. God, you are richer than a billionaire. You own the universe and everywhere. You own the great wide oceans. You own the tallest mountains. You made the fish in the sea. You made the birds in the trees. You own the cattle on 1,000 hills and still take care of me. My God is more than rich. My God is full of grace and mercy. My God owns everything, and He still cares for me. The creator of the universe, and He is right here with me. He is right here with me. He is right here with me. Yeah, He is right here with me. Yeah, He loves me. His love is so rich, it's never ending. Yeah, His love is so rich. My God is more than rich. My God is full of grace and mercy. Oh, my God owns everything, and He still cares for me. And He is right here with me. My God is more than rich. My God is full of grace and mercy. My God owns everything, and He still cares for me. The creator of the universe, and He is right here with me. He is right here with me. He is right here with me. You're right here with me. Yeah, He is right here with me.
Hey everybody, it is mail time, which means that we're going to be taking a look at some of the letters that you sent our way. Now today we're going to be reading letters from Jocelyn, Tegan, Rory, Mary Claire, and Noah in one of our favorite segments called Mail Time. Now, I'm really excited for all of these letters, but this first one right here is actually from my niece, Mary Claire. Hi, Mary Claire. Hope that you're having fun with your parents watching. And Mary Claire drew some awesome pictures. She has Robot Jeff, which I love so much. And on the other side, she drew a unicorn, which is holding a cat, which is holding a fly, which is playing with Legos.
I love that.
Mary Claire, thank you so much for sending us a letter, and I'll make sure to write one back to you.
All right, so this letter actually comes from a little duo, Tegan and Rory. But before I share with you what they sent us, we actually have a note from their mom, Taylor. And here's what Taylor said. Thank you, Sandals Church Kids, for your online programming. My girls have just started watching it and they love it, especially the worship. And they each drew you a picture. So this is from Rory, age 6.
I love the hat.
Green hat.
The hat is
awesome.
like bigger than the leprechaun's head, which maybe is like how he hides.
I love
when people
it.
are trying to find him.
I love it. And he's got his pot of of gold over here.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, and then let's see, Tegan, who is 5 years old, and she drew us this beautiful self-portrait of herself in a fabulous pink dress.
I love the colorful legs. It's
Thank
like
you.
a rainbow caterpillar.
It is. I love it so much.
Yes.
It matches with the rainbow and the leprechaun. Thank you,
Yes.
Tegan and Rory and Taylor, for your super encouraging words. We loved hearing from you.
So our next letter is from our friend Noah. And Noah, in case you didn't know, we are friends with your dad, who is super awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at what Noah had to say. Hi, Sandals Church kids. My name is Noah. I love God and Jesus. My favorite color is red. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man. And he drew an awesome Spider-Man.
So
Man,
good.
you got the webbing so good. That's actually like, it's very hard to do. Thank you so much for sending us your letter, Noah, and I hope to hear from you again.
All right, so our last letter for today comes from another state. It is from the state of Alabama, and it is from our friend named Jocelyn.
Yes, look at all the fun stickers.
Super fun stickers. So she drew us a picture of Louis Letter, and she said that she loves watching the videos and her brother loves dancing to our worship songs. Mr. Coyote, she has a drawing challenge for you.
I'm
Are
ready.
you up for it?
Yes.
Okay, she would like to know if you can draw an elephant in a bathtub. Have at it.
Where do you guys come up with this stuff? I love that. An elephant in a bathtub.
Yeah.
Is it like, well, let's just find out what happens. Here we go. Okay, there is my elephant in a bathtub. I was kind of like conflicted of whether the elephant would just use its trunk to wash itself or if it would actually have the shower head. So that's what I drew. I hope that you like it. And I have a challenge for you guys. So we've been receiving letters from all around the world. And my next challenge for you is that if you live in Idaho, I want to see if you guys can send us a letter. We don't have a letter from Idaho. So if you write one to us, you'll be the very first person.
And if you are wondering how do I send a letter, there are two ways to do that. The first way is by sending us an email at mail@sandalskids.com, or you can send us a letter through the mail to the address Sandals Church Kids at 150 Palmerita Avenue, Riverside, California 92507. And once we get a letter from you, we love sending mail back, so we've got an exclusive Louis letter card to send your way and some really fun exclusive stickers. We cannot wait to hear from you guys, especially those of you in Idaho, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, everyone. I have had so much fun being your host.
We love spending this time with you.
Now, one last thing before you go. You can always check us out at youtube.com/sandalskids. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of fun videos for you to watch, from worship videos to other Bible story videos.
All right, friends, thanks for hanging out with us today, and we will see you right here next week.